guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back again. Sorry it took so long to get back here, but we've been so busy in the shop. It's kind of that part of the season where it starts to get, the weather's nicer. I think everybody's thinking more about buying plants, and for people who maybe didn't want to ship plants before, they're now thinking it's a good time to ship. So we've been a lot busier, so it's been a little bit harder for me to pick up the camera and film something for you guys. Over the weekend we did just have the pop-up with tropicals plants from South America. It was a great success, as always. It's so much fun to see everybody in person. I just love everybody's excitement to see all the plants and get the plants and acclimate the plants, and it's just great. We also did our first live Instagram sale on Sunday afternoon, which I think was a success. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We kind of went in with that one, with an idea of what we were doing, but really kind of winging it because it was our first time. So there's a few things on our end that we think we can do better. And if you did watch it and you have any comments on what you think we can do better next time, please leave a comment below and let me know, because we want it obviously to be enjoyable for you guys. I have another busy week. It's Wednesday today. I just got to sit down and film. I've been busy shipping out plants, trying to pot up the plants that I kept for myself and for the shop. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of time this morning. I'm going to show you guys the plants that I have kept. It's not all of them. It's just a few of them for myself. Maybe I don't want to admit how many I actually kept for myself. If I tell myself they're for the shop, then they don't count, right? Anyways, these ones are for me. I actually did pretty good. I told myself I wanted to keep around 10 to 15, and I think I'm around that point. There are some bigger ones that I'm not going to show you on camera because they are up high, and to be honest, they're not looking that great. Usually, imports, the bigger the plant, the harder they are to acclimate. One in particular, I have literally already cut all the leaves off of. So it is just a stump, but it'll grow. So I'm not too worried about that. I have a busy week after today. I'm going to be picking up another plant shipment and doing lots of plant tours. So I am going to try to bring you along with those as well. Hopefully a little longer video for you guys. So let's just get right into it. I'll show you the plants that I have kept for myself. First up, you might have already seen this one on Alice's Instagram because she loved it and she had to take a picture right away. Love it just as much as I do. First one is this beauty. So this is an Anthurium veitchii, super narrow, and I am calling it a narrow because usually when they say narrow, they're referring to the spacing in between the ribs, as I call it. But often the leaf can actually be quite wide, although the ribs, abs, whichever they are narrow. But this particular specimen is like narrow between here and also a very narrow leaf. We'll see how it grows and see if it continues that. But both of these leaves, look at that. It is so pretty. And I potted this up. It was one of the first ones that I potted when they came in. I tried to pot a few that I really loved before the weekend even began because I knew that they were just going to be kind of unattended for at least 3 or 4 days while the show was on, and I was shipping after the show. So this one has been potted for how many days now? Probably 5 or 6 days, and it still looks pristine, which is great. I have it potted in a mix of tree fern fiber, perlite, and aroid mix. So I'm finding that this mix works really well for my anthuriums and rooting. Sometimes I will just do tree fern and perlite just to kind of get the roots going, and then when I repot it into its final pot, because obviously I'm not going to just leave it in this, I'll add in a little bit of aroid mix. I mainly do this because I'm cheap and tree fern is expensive, but I also feel like, my aroid mix has worm castings and all the good stuff that I'd like to add into the mix for long term. So yeah, the first one here is so pretty. Ah, look at how beautiful it is. Anthurium veitchii, super narrow. The next one you may have already seen as I have posted it on my Instagram, but I actually kept 2 of them. And are they the same plant? Yes. Did I need both of them? Also yes. Why, you may say? And I don't know, it's because they're different. Now you tell me if you can see the difference, because I can. So, Anthurium, this is the one that I posted on my Instagram. How freaking beautiful. Ugh, I swear I'm in my like silvery Hoya, oh no, not Hoya, silver Anthurium days. Like, I don't know why. I was never drawn to these before, and now I'm like, please, I want them all. I have no words. It is just stunning. It's actually so stunning. So this is the one that I posted. Did I even finish saying what it is? Anthurium crystallinum silver. So I bought them as like silver special, super silver. They're just basically saying, you know, there's more silver veining than your average one. Now, this is the one I posted on my Instagram, but this is the other one I kept. It's different, right? This one is, I believe, a little bit more round in its leaf shape. Here, I'll hold this one up and so you can see the difference. Do you see the difference? Please tell me you guys see it, because I do. Right? I feel like this one here, the leaves are a bit more round and the silver veining is a little bit thicker. It's like extra silvery. I don't know. Am I just making excuses to keep 2? Or do you see it too? Because I do. Anyways, these are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I can't wait to cross them with something down the line when they grow up a little bit. See, I think you can see it there, how much more round this one here is. Oh, so pretty. So this is, once again, Anthurium crystallinum silver. Going on a little bit of a theme here, I have kept a couple of these ones as well. Historically, I haven't given these ones as much credit, I think, as they should. They're so beautiful. They're so varied, which is dangerous for someone like me, because I will think of any reason to keep multiples of the same plant. And this is a plant that I feel like you can do that with. It is kind of it's an AF, so it's very varied. We are speaking of Anthurium Messier AF. So I got a couple of bigger specimens. This one actually had a flower. You can see it's a little bit floppy, and that's because this is what happens when it acclimates. As soon as it gets some fresh roots in its pot, I'll notice these leaves perk right up. I might lose a leaf or 2, and that's okay because it'll regrow. But yeah, I mean, I think you can see where, right here, it had a flower, but it died in transit, which is fine. I mean, how beautiful. So the next one that I kept, because I didn't keep just one, this one is a little bit more silvery. So you can see they're different because, ooh, there we go. Try and get them in the frame. This one has, you know, is a more dark leaf with minimal veining, I would say, compared to, I'm going to put this one down, compared to this guy, who is more silver in its veining. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's see if I can get this one up here. I'm excited to grow these ones out and hybridize with these ones. I'm just loving the dark, dark, dark leaf on them. Same plant, but different, right? This is bad. I can keep a few of them. And I will always find a difference between them. I think this is going to be quickly become one of my, if you guys have seen, I'm sure everybody is, but there is a plant on the internet that has just the widest sinus, and it's a Bessier af, and I am on the hunt for something like that. I mean, I love this, but imagine this without where its sinus just spreads and then comes down. It's just gorgeous. So if anybody has one. Anyways, once again, this one is an Anthurium Bessier af. All right, so the next two that I kept are, I have two sizes here, and they are, I'm just going to bring them both to you, Anthurium papillolaminum. How pretty. So as you can see, you know, there's some leaf damage and, you know, showing a little bit of acclimation stress. This lower leaf is probably going to go, but how pretty is that? And, oh, I didn't pull the one out. So I did keep one other one. It was really interesting. It had it was rounder like this, with kind of like the overlapping lobes. And then its next leaf, well, this one's kind of doing it. Its next leaf was just way more narrow. So again, like they're so varied that maybe you need a few of them. I don't know. Is it just me that does that? I make any excuse to keep multiple plants. This one is much smaller, but I am obsessed with this leaf. I just feel like it is perfect and it is acclimating so well. Look at this cutie. And again, I have done all of these in the same mix, tree fern, perlite, and a little bit of aroid mix. Yeah, so once again, these ones are Anthurium papillolaminum. The next one that I kept is one that I want the actual plant of very badly, but just haven't got one yet. And I saw this one and I thought, it's cute, and the price was right, so I thought I am gonna get one and grow it out and see how it is. So this was one that they were selling as a Wendlingeri af, and I think she's cute. She's got that nice midrib, and I did see a couple other ones of these at the show, and they seem to, I don't know if you can tell, the older leaves seem to be a little bit wider, and then as they kind of mature out to be longer, they kind of get a little bit narrower. I think Jesse kept one, and his is kind of short and stubby right now. I guess we'll see as the leaves grow if they start to get longer like this. But yeah, I love it. I think it's going to tide me over my Wendy obsession for now. But yeah, so again, I did same substrate, and this one's in no drainage, so I do have a layer, hopefully you can see it, a layer of leca at the bottom. But yeah, so far so good. This one is Anthurium Wendlingeri af. So keeping on the theme of don't really know what it is, this one was sold to me as an Anthurium Shine Black coloration. So your guess is as good as mine. This one is Anthurium Shine Black coloration. I thought it was cute. Reminds me kind of in the range of like Moodianum, Chamberlainii, those kind of ones. I have gotten plants in that look like this before, I think from Indonesia, but I don't know what it is. But I thought it was cute, so I got it, and I'm keeping it, and I'll grow it. So yeah, it does look like the color must fade back down to green, so it's more of like an emergent. This is its newest leaf here, and this is the last leaf before that. And then these ones are the older leaves. So I imagine eventually it's going to fade down to the green color, and this is more of just its emergent emergent color. But we'll see how she grows and what she looks like when she's bigger. So once again, this one, bought as Anthurium Shine Black, or shiny black coloration. If you have any ideas what it might be, put it in the comments. All right, so the last three are, if you've been around for a while, it'll be no surprise what these are, because this is one of my favorite plants and why I'm going to show you three of them. Three is not all I kept either. I have another one over there. So maybe just four, because I can only see one. 4 or 5 I kept. I would say I have a problem with these plants because I love them, and this is one that I will, if it's a little different than one that I have, I'm keeping it. I just love them. I love their hybrids. I love the peer. I love everything about them. So if you're new here, you might not know. If you're not new here, you probably know. It is Anthurium luxurians. Now I have reasons why I kept so many. So this particular one is really, really narrow and long. You can see that one's not as narrow as this one. This guy was quite narrow and long too. When I decided to keep this one, I kept it with the thought of crossing this one to, a Warwickwianum or a Papillolaminum, a more narrow pap, like a Fort Sherman or the Ralph Lynam Fort Sherman, and just in the hopes of keeping, a nice elongated pap with lux for that one. So we have to let it grow up a little bit, and then we can use it as a mother plant or a father plant, actually. You're going to be a daddy. But yeah, that was kind of my thought process of keeping this one. I do have, when I'm looking at my mother plants, I've got 2 over there and I've got 1 over here. The 2 that are over there are quite round luxes. The one that I have over here is more narrow, but not quite as narrow as this one. So I did want to keep this one for that reason. And I don't know, who doesn't need another lux? They're so great. So anyways, that's the reasoning for that one. And then the next 2 I kept just because I absolutely love, oops, sorry, that was probably loud. I love their shape. Now, they're all dirty. These ones are more, they call them sharp and narrow. But look, like, how do you not? They're so pretty. They just have that very sharp edge. And did I need an excuse to keep more? I don't know, but I love them. They're so pretty. So once again, these ones here are Anthurium luxurians, and I am here to tell you, if you don't have one of these, get one. I think a lot of people say that they are hard to keep, and I just have to disagree. I find that they are so easy. They acclimate well, they root well, they grow well. I think the worst thing that they'll do is if they're not, really happy in your home environment, they might just grow really slow. So I don't find that they're not as fussy as some other velvet anthuriums. They don't crisp their edges. Just overall, I think they're a pretty easygoing plant. I admittedly have not grown one, in my home humidity. The lowest the shop goes is about 55%. So I can't say the same thing for what it would do in a home setting. But if you have 50% or higher, I think that these will do absolutely fantastic for you. And I'm here to say, buy yourself a luxurians, because wow. Look at them. All right. Well, that is a few of the plants that I kept from this past weekend. And next time I'm back here, I'll either be on the way to pick up some plants at the airport, or I will be back from the airport to do an unboxing with you guys. So I will see you soon. Hi guys, welcome back. It is Thursday around noon, and I just got back from the airport with a box of plants. And This box of plants is actually from Hendry at Space Hijau, and I hope I'm saying that right. He sent some plants, so I did do a pre-order of a few of his hybrids, and I got some extras as well. So I'm going to open them up and show you what we have here. So I did actually partner with Hendry to bring these in for Canada and hopefully make them a little bit more accessible for everybody here. So why don't we open this box? I already pre-opened this part because I struggled to open that, and you don't want to see that. So look at all this packing materials. So there is only 3 types of anthuriums in here. We have Anthurium Neptune, Anthurium Pluton, and then we have the Anthurium Dark Phoenix crossed with Indonesian Portale. So not a huge variety of ones to show you, but I will open up a few of each and show you how they arrived, and maybe we'll pot some up afterwards. So, oh, and these are here. Another cute thing he sends with these. So his seedling batches are, limited numbers. So all of his named seedlings, he actually sends these really cute done up cards. And if you order one of these from me, you'll also get this. So it's just like a little card with the name, and then they each have an individual number. So this one was 198 and this is 79. And then just a little thank you for supporting him on the back. I think it's a nice little touch, nice little marketing touch. So you can use this as a tag or just have it with your plant. And okay, let's just open some of these up. So they're not labeled, so I'm just gonna maybe pull 2 from the top, 2 from the middle, and 2 from the bottom. Ooh, that one looks big. I'm gonna open that one. Maybe 3 from the top. Okay. So I do know that the Dark Phoenix Indo Portale were smaller, so I'm assuming the smaller ones are those, but let's just open some up and we'll see how they look. Hopefully I'll be able to tell who's who. And these came cargo, so they've been in transit for 2 days, I believe. They just arrived this morning to the airport. Oh, okay. I think this one is a Neptune, but I have to open another one to tell because it is not labeled. Oh my goodness. Look at how beautiful it is. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one is the Neptune. Wow. Oh my god. It's so much bigger than I thought it was going to be too. Wow. Look at how beautiful. And shipped so incredibly well. Yeah, the tag just says Pappy. So I'll have to get a look at the other ones, but wow. How pretty is this? Now, this also will get quite a bit darker. I mean, they're grown outside, obviously in Indonesia, and it's bright light. Growing them, well, you can kind of see how much darker that leaf is. Probably was shaded a bit. I grow my anthuriums and actually quite low. I mean, I grow all indoors, so it's all grow light, but I do not use super strong grow lights, and I find I'm able to keep that nice dark color on these. So I expect these to darken a little bit in indoor growing conditions. Wow, look at this one. Okay, let me open one more and see if we can find a Pluton, and I'll show you the difference of them. I pulled these all from the same spot at the top, so they could very well all be Neptune, and I might have to, yeah, see, I think this is another Neptune. Okay, I'll show it to you anyways, because it's gorgeous too. And look at how great the packaging is. Every single leaf is nicely supported and covered, and a little bit of fluff. Wow. So yeah, same one. These ones are both Neptune, and wow, so pretty. Oh my goodness. Let's open one that I know is the Dark Phoenix crossed with Indonesian Portale. And these ones are quite a bit smaller. Oh, such a cutie pie. Got a little bit of damage, but he's a little bit not so perky. Hopefully that one will be okay. Let's have a peek at these ones. So I'm going to open them all up. I'm going to check the roots, and I'm going to put them in some water. Oh, look at how cute this one is. Let them rehydrate themselves. Cutie. And then I'm going to pot them up into tree fern and perlite. If it was in the winter or in a cooler month, I would probably put the smaller ones into a dome for higher humidity. But it is warm in here right now, and it's very humid. I think it was like 80% humidity in here yesterday, so I actually had to turn on some more of my fans in here. I turned them off for filming, but you could still probably hear the ceiling fan. But ooh, this is a cute one. So okay, here's a good example. So you can see how like perky this one is. You know, it looks like it's perky and it's happy. Versus, oh, which was this one? This one. See how it's a bit floppy? So this leads me to believe that this one probably has a bit of root rot and or very dry roots. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm ever questioning how the roots are, I usually pop it in water first for like an hour or so, and then I pull it out and inspect the roots. If I open it and there's obviously visible broken roots or rotted roots, I always cut that first before I put it in water. But if they don't look horrible and I'm questioning, you know, if it needs to be chopped off, I will put it in water, let it soak for a little bit. If the roots are viable and the plant looks like this, and in an hour or two, the plant will perk up. So that's kind of a good indicator if those roots are viable. Also, anything that's like rotting will be squishy. So I've got one more here. And this is another one of the other ones. It's just a smaller of the bigger ones. And let's see if I can find you one more. There is so much of this in here. A little guy. So same thing with this one. See how it's a bit on the floppy side? Again, compared to this one that hopefully it's showing on screen. This one is a bit floppy in the petiole, and this one is still nice and perky. There's no flop in that petiole. So again, this one's either very, very thirsty or we've got some rot going on. So I will check that one too. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just get everybody opened off camera, and then once we come back to opening the roots, I will do a little bit of that with you guys. So see you back in one. Okay guys, I'm back once again. So I actually spoke to Hendry quickly. Bless his heart, he's probably in the middle of the night in Indonesia, and he helped me tell me which plants were which. So I'm going to show you the difference. So we have here, this one is Anthurium Pluton. So pretty. I don't think it's showing how dark it is really on the screen. And then we have this right here is the Neptune. So you can see the difference there. So pretty. So this is going to be a lot of repetition. So I think what I'm going to do is try and multitask and open some plants and then answer some questions. So I have here my water. I'm just going to pop them in some water right now. I actually have to go pick up Rylan from school pretty soon here, so I'm going to let them soak while I do that. But I thought I would answer a few questions first while I'm doing this. So I have just a little list of questions to go through. I won't be able to answer very many of them today, but first question, tips on how to pollinate anthuriums and how to produce successful seedlings. Basic pollination, obviously you have the receptive phase and the pollen stage. So when you see, it's called stigmatic fluid, it just looks, your inflorescence will be very, very wet. That is the female stage, the receptive stage. So that is when you want to pollinate it. I usually wait until the majority, if not all, of the inflorescence is wet, because I find once you pollinate it, it's not receptive anymore. Like it's kind of like it's done and done. So do wait until the entire inflorescence is wet and receptive. Oh my gosh, I have the worst scissors ever right now. A little bit of a yellowing leaf on that one. That's okay. And then after you're done that, I will do it 2 days, even though the second day it doesn't really look as receptive as the first day. I still just do it just to be safe. And then you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And yeah, oh my gosh, look at this. I just went through all of that with him to find tags wrapped inside the plant. Oh boy. Okay, well, he ID'd it right at least. Oh boy. Okay, so back to pollination. So then you wait. Certain ones take longer than others to really grow the berries and for the berries to form. Usually if you kind of see a bit of swelling on your inflow and obviously it's not dying, that means there's a good chance that it took. It doesn't always, like I have had some look like they're going to have berries and actually produce berries, and then either just not be viable or a very low yield. I also would suggest not even trying to hybridize or pollinate anything if it's too young. I just find that they don't produce viable berries, or the chance of them producing viable berries is less. So let your anthuriums mature before doing that. And as far as what was the second part of this, produce successful seedlings, I batch out my stuff. I pot up everything in batches because I'm limited in space, and obviously sometimes you can end up with hundreds of them. So I'll pot up two or three trays of them, let them grow for a while, After a month or two, you know, I pick out who is strong. And if there are any on that tray that just have not done as well as the other ones on the tray, you're probably going to hate me for this, but I just throw them in the garbage because they're not strong and they're not, you know, I don't want to be selling something that is going to not produce and grow and be a vigorous grower for you. So I do weed out kind of the weak ones, and I will try to only keep the ones that are strong and growing. If they're all given the same conditions, the same fertilizer, the same light, in my head, they should all be growing the same. And the ones that aren't, I just get rid of them because there's hundreds of them. I might as well only keep the ones that are strong because I want you to get strong seedlings. This is another reason I don't sell seeds, because seeds are always a gamble. You know, you could get a seed that doesn't germinate, and if it does germinate, it could grow really horribly or not really grow at all. And that just doesn't seem fair to be selling something like that without knowing that it's strong and that it's going to go into your home and it's going to grow. So yeah, hopefully that's enough on that question. Gosh, this is going to take me forever if I keep just talking. I'm not doing anything. Okay, next one. How do you keep all your plants pest free? I've got tons of fungus gnats after increasing humidity. So short answer is I don't. Pests come with plants. That's just kind of something that happens. So instead of worrying myself about pests and, you know, which I used to just get so, you know, freaked out about them and the thought of pests and what they can do. You know, it's not that I still don't get freaked out about them, but I preventatively do things. So if something does pop up, because it does, you know, this time of the year, we open our windows and we open our doors, and where I live, there are thrips everywhere and they just come on in. So I preventatively spray my plants. I use beneficial bugs, which are kind of like the little soldiers in the background, doing anything that gets missed. And I mean, at the end of the day, oh gosh, sorry if this is loud. It's, you know, don't freak out if you get pests. That it's bound to happen. You just kind of, you know, have a game plan if it does happen. And a good thing is to isolate your plants when you first get them from anywhere. Even if it's somewhere that you trust that doesn't have pests, it happens, right? One really gross thing is check your fruit when you're getting it from like the store, because I have heard way too many stories of like thrips and mealybugs coming in on people's like fruit and vegetables, and that is just disgusting. And then for fungus gnats, I don't have, surprisingly, a horrible fungus gnat problem ever, really. I think it's, you know, obviously when we put a lot of humidity into a tent or a cabinet, there's a risk of, but that just kind of means that your media is staying a little bit too wet. So maybe check on your watering, and also increasing like the airflow as well. I haven't used them personally, but I've heard good things about doing mosquito dunks and watering with mosquito dunks. So that's something you could look into. Question number 3. What plant do you think is underrated? I really had to think about this one because this was one for a long time that I thought was underrated. I think it is maybe now coming back. I have loved this plant forever. The Anthurium forgetii is a bit underrated. It is, I don't think, is one that people, you know, is very sought after, and it's so amazing. I think in particular the dark form forgetii is getting a little bit more popular again. The true dark form, you know, the one that actually has like no veining, that I think is more sought after right now. Look at these roots, so good. Yeah, I think, you know, maybe it's getting a little bit more popular again, but for a long time I couldn't even sell them because people just didn't want them. And so I said, fine, I'll just keep them all for myself. So yeah, that's what I think for that one. Ooh, this is a good one. If you could live anywhere else, where would it be and why? Now, I sadly haven't traveled to a lot of different places, but one place where I have gone and I've absolutely loved for a few reasons is Hawaii, and specifically Maui. What I really love about Maui and just Hawaii in general is, I think, it's the climate. So, I've been to the Bahamas and it's really hot and it's really humid, and you kind of go outside and you're just like, ugh, ugh. Like you just feel wet. It's like everything feels wet because the humidity is so high. Mind you, I'm here working every single day right now in 80% humidity and I don't feel it anymore. So maybe I'd feel different now that I work here every day. But I find that Hawaii is just, it's so even in their climate. Like it's warm and but it's not super humid. And I don't know, I just like the vibes. I love island vibes, I guess. I would probably love other places too if I travel there one day, but right now I would say Hawaii. Can you imagine all the beautiful plants I could grow outside there too? Oh, it's a dream. Okay, the next question. Queens coming back anytime soon. You'll probably see there's a couple up here. I do have a few that I'm acclimating, so if they don't decide to tank, because if we know Queens, we all know that's a possibility, then I'll have some in probably about a month, or when they decide to root and look like they are ready to go. So yes. What did you do before NST? So before I started this business, and I mean, if any of you don't know, when I first started this business, I was only working part-time at this other company. It was after I had Ryland, and I sold, the basic fiddly figs and your snake plants and all that. And yeah, so I used to work at a family company. My grandparents started the company, and my uncle and his friend from high school then bought the company from my grandparents, and my mom worked there, my aunt worked there, obviously my uncle worked there, and it was a printing shop in North Van called Contact Printing. They have since sold the company now. But they're still in the same location, I think using the same name. But I worked there for 10 years before I stopped. And actually it was COVID that is when I stopped working there part-time and went full-time with North Shore Tropicals. So that was kind of my jump to go full-time and move into this space. And it was a scary jump, but it worked out well, and yeah. So I wonder if is anybody from North Van in this watching this video. You probably would know the shop. We used to have, or it's still there, but there's a sign outside the shop, and my Uncle Bob would write funny signs on the sign all the time, and a few of them went viral, and yeah, it was fun. It was kind of the first job that I had that I wanted to go to work. Like, it was fun to be obviously with my mom every day and just with family, so that was fun. I miss that, but obviously would not change it for anything, because now I have plant friends to work with every day and you guys to talk to. So yeah, so that was where I worked, and now we're here. Okay, there's one more question, and then I think I have to go pick up Ryland from school, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. I might come back and pot some up with you. It's taking a long time to get these out of the wrapping. The last question that I'm going to answer, any imports planned? So yes and no. Well, yes. Short answer, yes. I don't import as many plants as I used to, as I just do a lot more propagation. But, you know, a few times a year, I'll kind of bring in a bunch of stock, and some of it is to like refill my mother plant supply. Some of them are just plants that people are looking for. So I have, I think, 2 more shipments coming in this month, and I've been getting a lot of people asking me for King of Spades, and I have some coming. So I haven't had those for a while, so that'll be exciting to be able to get those out to some people who are looking for those. And hopefully, I got them at a really good price, so I hope you guys think they're a good price too when they're offered. But yeah, so I have that one, which, you know, I've got some variegated plants coming and some more anthuriums coming, and another one that a lot of people were asking for and I had sold out of was the Anthurium Silver Blush and the Doriaki Silver. So I have both of those coming, and yeah, look at these roots on here. Oh, so freaking beautiful. I can't wait to show you guys these when I get the leaves all nice and dark. I mean, that one you can tell. This one is still a new leaf, so it's a little bit floppy still. Needs to harden off, probably harden off darker. Okay, so I am going to go grab Ryland. I think I'm actually going to end the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.